Mid Valley Sports Show. Tim Peterson, Joe Ferozzi, and Dwayne Barker's on the board, and we're getting ready for the high school football season. Just a couple days away here. Everything
Really?
kicks off on Friday night.
Dude, I'm thinking
Thursday.
volleyball.
Oh,
Kendra
volley.
Navarro, the El Monte Lady Lions.
Oh, did they get a win or
Yeah,
something?
they're getting ready to get started. Dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's volleyball season.
Oh, okay, we'll
Yeah.
send Fred down there or something. He'll have that covered.
Do we have a Fred?
No,
We don't have a
I
Fred.
don't have a Fred.
Yeah.
Fred
So-
works hard. So.
No, we don't have guys with normal names. We get guys with different names. You know, Devil,
We got some
Conzo,
normals, too.
Omelet,
Yeah.
J-Rod. You know,
All the
we never
nicknames,
get,
yeah.
you know, Big Tony's, Big Rich, you know,
Corn
Big
dog
George.
at one time we had. Yeah.
So,
But
anyway.
yeah, this Friday night, some good games. Friday night,
Yeah, you wanna pull
some,
that
some,
sucker
some
up.
games that it look like definitely have some interest in them. Maybe if you put them last year, the year before,
Oh,
you're kind of like, oh,
Well,
okay. But the
but
one
they're
that kind of jumps
intriguing
out,
games.
yeah, Bell Gardens Arcadia.
Yeah, that's
a
an
couple years ago,
intriguing game.
oh, really, I don't know. But now with Arcadia, it looks like they're improved, and then Bell
And Bell
Gardens.
Gardens, Ackerman's done a good job there.
Yeah,
And you know what? There's a window. It's probably, I think you're talking Bell Gardens, Montebello in the Almont, right?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
what we're talking?
No, I think so.
You know? So it's kind of it. Unless this is the year Alhambra rises, but I can't get a whiff out of Alhambra. I got people complaining that we don't cover Alhambra, but no one ever seems to offer like contact information because struggle trying to track them down during the summer.
You know,
I know we're going to get them now.
I
But
looked up some of the guys they have coming back. I mean, they ended up winning 3 games last year. They were 3-7. One of their running backs coming back as a senior this year is this guy Joe Santana. Had like 585 yards and like 6 touchdowns. And he's back as their feature back. They did lose their quarterback. But I think Alhambra is still – I think Bergstrom kind of needed a couple of years to kind of like right the ship.
well, they're still wheeling from Lou Torres to Koenig to Leonardis. I mean, just like that.
yeah.
They just
Because you
crushed
thought
that
Koenig
program.
was the guy.
Yeah.
Real excitement there, but some stuff happened in the league.
Well, Koenig was kind of like the guy who just go, hey, this guy sounds pretty good. And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, wait a second. I figured it out.
Yeah.
So,
And then Leonardis,
didn't even get a shot.
who's a pretty good coach.
And,
but all that
and
stuff
again, going
happened.
back, Leonardis is pretty stand up. I
Yeah.
heard the word was fire your staff, we'll keep you. And he says, no. That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Yeah.
So,
And
good for
so
Leonardis, who's at Arroyo now.
yeah, he's assistant there at Arroyo. But so Bergstrom comes in trying to settle things down. I think he's done all right in that area, but still you're not up with Montebello yet, or of course, Bell Gardens. I think
But the interesting thing is, if Arcadia handles Bell Gardens, then the talk is, can Arcadia do something in the Pacific?
right?
If Arcadia doesn't handle Bell Gardens, because the Pacific is obviously a step higher than the Almont, then people are going to say, oh, okay, maybe Arcadia has a shot, but it's not a big-time shot. They're
Yeah.
a 4th, 3rd-place team playing for a coin flip maybe or something
Yeah.
like
So
that.
if Arcadia wins that game handily, then you're thinking them in the
Yeah.
Pacific. But
We talked about San Marino Arroyo.
yeah,
Okay, let's talk about, these aren't in any particular order, Los Altos at Baldwin Park. You know what? I've heard a couple good things. One, I've heard the staff's working hard at Baldwin Park. Tabatabai is kind of fitting in there at Baldwin Park. There's a very welcoming. They're doing okay.
yeah.
But Los Altos is pushing for a crown. And I think
Yeah.
Los Altos is going to hammer them.
Yeah, I think Los Altos gets a big win there. I mean,
Yeah.
they did lose some guys up front, but they got Tyler Nevins back, and they should be fine.
Okay, passing to Pauly at Bosco Tech. All right, let's
Pauly.
go. Okay, South Hills at Diamond Ranch. This is an early one.
Yeah, that was a good one because South Hills, like we talked about earlier, they were Jekyll and Hyde
You
last
got
year, but they got
Palomares against Hacienda.
and Diamond Ranch last year misses the playoffs, so now they got a new coach in
Yeah.
Welker, so they want to get back to the playoff mode. That's good. That's a pretty good early season matchup there.
Yeah, it will be. Remember, again, not Los Altos, but South Hills, you got to find out, are they going to win a non-league game
Yeah,
this year? You know, so
Yeah, I have a feeling the way they played and the way they gelled last year, the first week is going to be their first non-league game.
yeah. So they're going to need that. We got Montebello at El Monte, a rematch of the 2012 first-round playoffs in the Mid-Valley Division, where El Monte outlasted the Oilers.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you get the same head coaches, obviously different talent pools right now, but Isaac Mendebles is back.
Yeah.
And now Joel Sanchez has told me he thinks this is his best overall defense he's ever had at El Monte right now. That's what he told me the other day when I was there. And so it'll be interesting to see how that defense matches up. Offensively, Edward Dominguez, Roy Barajas, they're going to do the same stuff. And I always think about that Montebello El Monte game is because that's the game that El Monte was doing the whole aerial circus with Brandon Martinez. And defensive coordinator for the Oilers, Brian Zavala, said, my defense, we're geared to get off the field after third down.
I just think in that game,
and
I
they
think
just kept going for it on fourth and converting.
Yeah, I think El Monte's offense will be okay, but I think Montebello's defense is definitely better than El Monte's defense. I think Montebello does have enough to score still with guys like Mendebles and Ryan Rivera at quarterback. So I would give Montebello the edge. Not big, but at least about maybe 10
I think it's going to be a really good
I think
game.
Montebello gets
I
the
think
edge.
it's pretty evenly matched.
Whoever we send to that game ought to bring pizza back to the office for us as a thank you.
Yeah,
for that one.
absolutely.
Yeah. We got Burbank at Monrovia, another awesome game, and
That's a really good early
that's
season
a great
matchup,
for both
both
teams.
schools. Yeah. They can kind of see where they're at right away.
And you get
Monrovia
to-
looks good. And
Yeah, and you'll get to see what Burbank has because there hasn't been a whole lot of
Well-
word coming out of Burbank early on.
There
Even
hasn't
in
been
the
talent. There kind of has been though a little bit. If you follow Broussard,
Yeah.
he's really pumped about the team.
Yeah.
But So they got the quarterback.
Yeah,
I know not Gates. What's his name? The quarterback for Burbank.
I don't know. Amelin. No, not Amelin. It's the other kid. Oh, where's it at? It's up here. I'll tell you. Keep talking.
Yeah, Amela's of course.
Amelin's at Burroughs.
At Burroughs, yeah, but. They got the quarterback back. I mean, they did lose, of course, their running back, but they got some other talented kids. This guy came in last year when the guy was injured. He's filled in, played the rest of the game. But I don't know. I think Monrovia probably has the edge right now over Burbank. But if Burbank can somehow keep it close and maybe even get a win or battle Monrovia to the end, it's a real good starting point for Burbank there. And again, they're in that Pacific Division where you got Crescenta Valley, you got Arcadia. You got Mirror, who I've heard mixed things about, but I mean it's a good early test.
Oh,
for,
now we're hearing
Burbank.
mixed things about Muir.
Yeah, I actually am.
It's Guy Gibbs. Guy Gibbs.
Guy
the quarterback
Gibbs.
at Burbank.
Yeah, Guy Gibbs. Gibbs came on last year and had a pretty good.
He
the
filled
rest of the
in
year,
nice
pretty
for
good
Ryan
season.
Meredith,
So
yeah.
he's back now for a full
No,
season.
and there's talent there. There's
Yeah.
still talent there, and the thing is about Burbank now is Burbank replenishes itself.
Yeah.
And it's not just a one and done. Ever since Amorosi's last year through the Valencia period and now in Broussard, they've been a consistent playoff team, and that culture's changed. I think the first 3 or 4 years we covered Burbank, they were an also-ran, really middle of the road of the Pacific, and then they kind of took off there in 2009, 2008 under Amorosi, who's kicking butt in the insurance world these days.
I see it and stuff. Yeah.
So it's interesting to see. I think it's going to be a good game. I give the nod to Monrovia.
I get it.
And if Monrovia loses this game, it doesn't mean they're a bad team, but it would make me question if they're ready to compete with Charter Oak and all those big boys in the Central.
Yeah.
If they lose this game.
And more so than that, it would be a huge boost for Burbank.
Oh, yeah.
If they could win there.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
if that comes up, Arcadia is going to take notice, obviously. But, CV, who's off this week, they play Verdugo the next Thursday, September 3rd.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to kind of go, okay, what do we got here?
Yeah. And what's going to be funny is if they do lose, a lot of the people are going to be the
after
Stevens.
Chris Stevens.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Stevens.
man, that
They'll be
sucks.
out going, oh man, what's this guy? Because last year they get knocked out in the second round, and that's not Monrovia's MO lately is to make the season.
I think Monrovia's got a lot of talent right now, and I could see them winning that game. But
I just don't see it blow up.
But as long as they're not looking past Burbank, which I don't think they will.
No.
So okay, we got Mountain View at Bassett. Two teams that are supposed to be improved. Bassett's been climbing the ladder. Injuries have been crippling Bassett the last couple of years. They've been doing Spathius. They've been doing a really good job there.
Yeah, but they had a little bit of turnover in staff this year, so it'll be.
Well, Spathius is still the HC.
Spathius is still the HC there, but their defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, it looks like those have changed.
Jerry Rice and Aaron Williams are no longer there.
Doesn't remember Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be different for those kids coming in to see which one, changing to a new system, and there's still with Mountain View right now. There's still excitement about the team. Those kids are.
Well, see, El Monte,
excited.
Mountain View is where El Monte was about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that Sanchez and Gilbert Garcia and all those Rick Cardenas and all those El Monte alum guys, they all did a great job of creating atmosphere. Welcome to the jungle every time you get to El Monte, and it just took a long time to change the culture.
Yeah.
And that's what Abruzzo and Larry Cecil. If you're going to be a coach, you want Larry Cecil as your principal at Mountain View, and they got to change the culture, and that's heavy lifting.
But they're getting there, though.
They're getting there. They're totally getting there. There's an attitude, and you know what? We never root for anybody. I was asked this. Ken at the Joe Show asked me today. He says, do you root? I said, you don't root. You root for the
We get accused of
but
rooting all
you
the
root
time.
for the
We're always biased
you
towards
root
something.
you root for the story.
Yeah.
And right now, Mountain View would be a great story if they could peel off some league wins and be in contention week 10 for a playoff spot. So that'll be an interesting game to watch. Northview, Rosemead. I think we talked about that one earlier. I'm leaning Northview. Salesian at Muir. And I don't know. We've been getting conflicting stuff. Hey, I talked to Antoine Sims. He said everything's cool. You've heard other things about Muir. I'm going to say Muir. They move out.
Muir wins.
And Muir, no, I'm gonna say Muir. It might not be in Death Valley like some people say.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say they win this game. I like Salesian in the game.
Well, Salesian had the really nice playoff run last year
They did.
that no one expected, and so you can't count out Angelo Jackson's team.
But I think you're right. I don't think Muir is as bad as everyone's saying. I mean, at first it was like it's over down there. Everybody's gone. Sims has no one down there. Then other guys were coming up going, "What are you talking about?
Over, man.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
It's
I saw the
all
Muir
over.
kids. They look really good, and they had enough guys out there to compete. Yeah, they don't have 50 guys, but they probably got 30, and they look okay. Other people have said no, they're going to struggle. But I think in the opening game, I think Salesian, they did have a nice playoff run, and they got guys coming back. I think they'll probably win that game. But I think Muir, when it gets to league, can you really ever? Completely count out Muir because they're going to be athletic. They're not. It's like
you can't count out
even
Muir.
a CV or Burbank. One of these kids go, "Oh, we're going to blow this team out." It's like, no, that's not going to happen.
Now here's another one that's like fate of the world. First week, Colony at West Covina.
Yeah,
I mean, that's huge.
that is.
Right out of the bat, you're going to find out
You
where
got the
these
champions
teams are.
in Colony, and you got Westco coming in. Hopefully they're looking to improve on last year. So they got knocked out of the playoffs. What were they, first round, second round?
Yeah.
They got knocked out. So yeah, this kid Isaiah
West Covina
Love.
was second round.
Isaiah Love was just committed to Washington State. But the only thing is he's hurt right now. He won't play in that opening game. He actually got in a car accident
Oh wow!
about a month ago. So he's going to probably miss the first few games. I did talk to Maggiore, and he said he'll be back. He's a running back receiver. But no, that's a good game opening week.
Yeah, that's an excellent game opening week. And then you got Josh Thompson throwing for the Titans.
Yeah.
For Colony, defending champs and everything. I like Colony in that game because I always lean towards the quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't call any.
For fun here, Duarte at Diamond Bar. See, you like Duarte, what you said.
I think Duarte could. I think again it's an evenly matched game, but Diamond Bar struggled last year, and the Hughes Corporation is still there.
Now you're doing my bet.
But we don't know for sure how Diamond Bar are they going to bounce back. I mean, do they have? Last few years you could always say, oh, they got Brodus, so they got a Kanye Bell. Who do they have this year that's really? They had the quarterback. Remember the quarterback was solid for them too. They had a couple of years, but
Henry Armada Jr.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, who do they have now? And I saw Duarte; he looked pretty good. They got a good quarterback and everything. So I don't know. I think it'd be a good win for Duarte to go there and get a victory.
It would be. It would be a big win for them. Who else we got here? And they also got Cameron Eaglin at Nogales, and Nogales is getting ready to play. Who is that team there? I'm lost. I just lost my spot. Nogales is getting ready to play Azusa.
Yeah,
Cameron Eaglin has Azusa and Nogales have Azusa at home opening night.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you look at Azusa as the favorite, but
they've lost
I've
some of the
learned my-
Riveros.
one of these
Yeah,
years-
you know what though? I've learned my lesson.
yeah,
No matter what they lose, what they got
Did
going
you
back.
jump off the bandwagon last year of Azusa
2
briefly?
years ago, I did.
Yeah.
And so I said,
I think we're all guilty of it at one point.
Yeah, Azusa's gonna, Azusa's, and they ended up going 5-0 last year. Went into the playoffs, went deep round. I mean, they're 8-4 overall, so they, 2 games in.
Don Lugo at Walnut. I'm leaning Don Lugo. Dane Ford. We know what that is, although I like Michael Maris. El Rancho at Claremont. That'll be a really interesting game.
yeah. Rancho travels down there. It'll just be I think it'd be interesting because a lot of stuff has happened in this offseason at El Rancho. I mean, Vinny Lopez stepped down late and left. Hyatt comes in. A lot of the Rancho people weren't happy with Hyatt because he's old school. Although you will see quite a few people defending Hyatt on the board saying, no, he's fine. He's just.
If Dewey Trans-Samson runs for 200 yards and scores 3 touchdowns and the Wolfpack blows them out,
the ER people just go crazy. Yeah.
we're going to have to send a thank you note to the ER
Yeah.
fans for what it's going to do for analytics.
So that first game for them of the Hyatt regime is important for them to come out strong.
Yeah.
It's a
But
tough
no.
game to win on the road. though.
Yeah, it is. Because Claremont was a playoff team.
La
last year.
Puente, Sierra Vista, I think we all like La Puente.
Probably LP, yeah.
South El Monte at Pasadena, whatever. Sure at Bonita, Thank you for
yeah.
playing. We have some lovely party gifts for you. Then you got then you got the big one. You got St. John Bosco out at La Mirada.
Yeah, I mean,
Does La Mirada have a shot?
Machete obviously likes to schedule up, and he got his game. You know, he wanted one of the best teams. I guess actually one of the top ranked teams
in the country.
in the country.
Mhm.
Let alone
So he
Southern
got his
California.
top game. We'll see what becomes of it. I mean, last year he kind of surprised us a little bit because he got some big games. He actually won a couple of them. I think he beat Tesoro
Mhm.
and such. So, but this is another game. It's going to be.
I mean, do they have
I
a
mean,
shot? You know,
they have
with
an
La
outside
Mirada,
shot.
The athletes that they have there, athletically, they'll have a shot. Can they focus and stay for 4 quarters and stay close and that's another question. I think Bosco will beat them, but you know they have an outside
Yeah.
shot, sure.
And a lot of times that would happen
And
with
if-
those really big
if-
schools like Bosco is just we talked about the depth earlier. They have like a third, their third string running back is usually as good as the other team's first string running back because they have so many guys on the roster.
But can you imagine what it's going to do to the Southeast Division if La Mirada pulls off an upset? You know?
someone's gonna
What'll
have to
happen
do it.
is, I predict this: La Mirada pulls off an upset, wins this game, and then loses in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
kinda
that's the
been
kind
their
of stuff
MO.
that happens. Yeah, you know, we root for them. Now, where are you going to be Thursday night, Tim? Are you going to go to Harupa Hills at Citrus College playing
Keystone.
Gladstone, or are you going to go out to Pioneer and see the new field out there, Dick Torres Field?
Dick Torres.
See them christen that field where Artesia comes to see,
I don't know.
Pioneer.
I'll have to flip a coin on that one. I mean, the field's pretty nice out there, but that Harupa Valley at G-Stone is pretty hard to resist. You know, I was looking at the schedule. There aren't last year there was, I think, and they moved some games to Thursday, which we got to keep an eye on. They could
Yeah.
possibly do that. But yeah, like right now, as of Tuesday night, there isn't a huge Thursday night docket.
Well,
Not a
dude,
huge-
don't sell Pioneer short, dude. Oh, Pioneer, dude. Dude,
You think they got a
Yeah,
shot?
we'll
in
reach
that
out to
lottery?
you.
yeah, dude. I've been there before. I'll go. I'll
You
root
think
for
they'll be-
Artesia.
Good.
Really? So you think
The
they'll beat Cal?
Artesia Pioneers against the Pioneer Titans. Oh, dude, it's
Yeah,
it's
there you
a
go.
battle to the death. dude.
Battle of the Death.
And then on Saturday night, it's not a whole lot, but you do have Gar playing Cal at Dick Torres Field.
Yeah.
That field's going to get some work this year.
Yeah, because like Trudell was telling us, I mean, a lot of times they should be going Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because isn't Lucerna playing there
Yeah,
too?
Lucerna, Cal, Whittier, Pioneer, and Santa Fe.
Yeah, because everybody's field is
Yeah.
getting fixed. So
But that's nice, though. That gives us quality games on off nights that you get a chance to see teams that you wouldn't ordinarily get a
I
chance
mean, I
to
like
see.
the field. It was really nice and everything. I mean, so yeah, it was great. I mean, but this Thursday, Friday, Saturday they'll be going. I mean, we'll see what happens there.
So Saturday, where are you going to be Saturday night?
Probably Cal.
Oh, I thought you didn't. Don't you have like a practice or something to go to, or a soccer game, or
Oh no, that's what.
what? Did you
That's
go to
down the
Bogey
road,
Cal
yeah.
game? now? Oh, okay.
You went.
All right, I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, Mid Valley Sports Show, new format. We will talk to you soon.
Yeah, just look for the show on the site.
Yeah.
Click on. We'll be right. Well, no, we won't be back. We'll see you next time.